Join with me today is Valley Flying, and we've got a lot to talk about. There's some unresolved issues in Marvel Strike Force, some things going well, some going bad. I don't know. I feel it's a mixed bag. We're going to talk about whether or not you should skip the Spider Society. We're going to talk about potential changes to our thinking in Dark Dimension 7. But before we get into that, you and I are doing something very exciting. We're actually getting together. I'm going to go hang out at your house for a couple days.
And we're inviting everybody. We've hung out before, but we're inviting everybody this time.
Yeah, so this Sunday we're going to be at Dave & Buster's, and we're going to hang out there. And then on Monday, you and I are going to go and experience the totality of the solar eclipse there.
I am ready, Mobile. I'm ready for it.
Well,
I can see nothing, but I'm ready.
What are those glasses? Yeah, so you got a 12-pack, so we just need to find...
I got all 12. It's all ready for you.
We just need to find 10 more friends. No, I mean, of course. So let's get into at hand. And there's some things that are going on in the game, kind of weird. And I feel like this post right here doesn't address a lot of things. Since there's no Cosmic Crucible this week, you're sending players points to help in the pass progression. Now, there's mixed feelings about Cosmic Crucible. What do you think about this and what happened there? And how are you enjoying your time off from this week or what?
No, I like Crucible. I'm glad there's no blitzing, but I like Crucible. I'm one of the, everybody's got their game modes that they like. Some people don't like Crucible. Some people don't like War. I like Crucible. So no Crucible, I don't know what to stream this week. Every time I start a stream, I'm like, I guess we'll do some arena attacks or something like that. I like streaming Crucible because I think it's fun. I like the strategy, and having it missing this week is bad. So fix your stuff, Scopely.
Yeah, and I think the big problem with this is the reason why this problem happened is something weird happened on the last day of the season on the leaderboards, and there were people in the wrong places. It was all messed up.
Yeah.
And so they canceled this week. They got to create some problems. People had to get 10 war attacks per 30 points, so they're going to give out the 2,400 points to make that right. And then the other thing, too, which you are a big fan of, is that they're delaying the Dark Diamond promotion credits, which is needed for Apocalypse. You already have a 3-diamond Apocalypse. But
very selfishly, yes. For the good of community, no, I'm not happy with it. But for my personal account, I'm a little happy that they're delaying it because there's less 3-diamond Apocalypses out there. But
right. When do you think this is going to get fixed? Holy moly. Are we going to even have Cosmic Crucible next week? I mean, we got to set our defenses. We can't even set our defenses right now.
I wanted to at least set my defenses. It was supposed to be fixed last week at this time. Hopefully it's fixed tomorrow. It should have been fixed, earlier. It should have been fixed like Saturday, and then we could have had a real Crucible season. But yeah,
they don't work on Saturday. They didn't even work this Monday. You know what I mean? But they've been working Tuesday and Wednesday, and then I'm sure we're gonna get the 2,400 points to move on. We will be making up Iron Patriot shards everywhere to all players. So this is a separate issue. And this week's Free Claim Friday will include 5 shards of Iron Patriot. Also find more shards upcoming Alliance event. Also be sending 10 extra shards for Iron Patriot to all players' inbox. I think this is a disaster, actually. I mean, the number of people that sent me screenshots like this where they're like 99 out of 100 or 94 out of 100. And I think that this does the problem. I have some issues with this, but what's your take on this?
Scopely, how about instead of doing all this compensation and doing all this stuff after the fact, why don't you design the stuff correctly in the front end so we don't have to deal with all these issues, make it so that players are supposed to get this Iron Patriot unlocked during the event, and then you don't have to worry about all this stuff. So do a little more work in the front end so that you don't have to do all this excessive work in the back end is how I feel.
Right, and so I feel like there was like 2 logical answers to what happened. Is one, they didn't do the math right. They screwed up, right?
Yeah, jeez.
Well, okay. And then the second one is that they wanted it to be this way, right? So this is where this goes into 2 problems for me. If they didn't do the math right, then this does not fix the problem. The problem was that people were not able to unlock Iron Patriot while the showcase event was running. That's the problem, because I didn't
think of the showcase. I'm glad you brought that up, because I didn't think of the showcase part of this.
Yeah, the showcase event ended early, a while ago, right? And so people are going to get more Iron Patriot shards no matter what eventually in the next event, next battle pass. Yeah. So win is what matters, right? During the showcase event. And then secondly, if it was intentional that they did not want players, free-to-play
I don't think
players.
That's what it was.
If they did not want free-to-play players to be able to participate in the showcase event, then why do they make it RNG based where half of the free-to-play players could and half of the free-to-play players couldn't? Because the reason why this was a problem is that if you had bad luck and you only got 1 drops out of these orbs, then you weren't able to get him unlocked, and then they have to do this. But some people got good drops, right? And then, so that's not fair. Like, just randomly, lucky players, cool, you get to do showcase event. Screw you, unlucky people, you don't get to do it. So what was the intent here? I don't know what's going on. Seems like a mess, and I don't feel like this is addressing it.
I don't think it was intended. And the reason for that is every time we put a problem in the Envoy chat, sometimes we get no response. We got a response to this right away, like, oh yeah, we're going to send in this charge. So that's why I think it was unintentional. I think they did the bad event design. They got to do the work on the front end, make it, play the events. Maybe play the events, devs, and then send it out to the community instead of just sending it out and like, oh shoot, we got to fix this, and this, and this. Like, if you played it, right, you'd be like, oh, there's an error here, there's an error here. Well, let's fix this out, and then let's send this out.
This was another error right here, right?
A fragment?
Yeah, so, okay, so they said, oh, well, we're going to send out 250 fragments. And then it's like, well, I already had 250, so now I have 500. And then they, instead of sending out 1,500, they send out 1,700. So we still have 250, which is fine. I don't care. But like, did they do any math? Did they think about this? What is going on?
Again, their intent. I don't think they met their intent, and they're just not doing the calculations. They said they wanted it to have a surplus, and then with the surplus, now it feels bad. And it's just like they organize your stuff in the beginning, Scope.
Yeah, so we still have some unresolved issues, and this one is kind of a non-event. The inbox issue, we were talking about the red dots, right? The red dot, you can't get the red dot to go away. Like, even if you delete it, it comes back, right? So we've got this red dot issue. The open all orbs, I mean, okay, so like this is baffling, right? So they send us, the celebration anniversary event, which we're going to talk about in here in a minute. And then we get so many orbs, it crashes the game and we can't open orbs. So they remove the open orb button. Then all weekend long, they give boatloads of orbs. I don't like all these events this weekend. I mean, there was times where I was just like, open orb, because you can only do 10 at a time. But I was like sitting there for like 5 minutes one day, just like, what is going on? Like, why, if this is a problem, why do they send more open orbs? What's your take on what this is? What's going on?
I don't know. I thought they took that off so they could get the server stable. Then they're going to get the server stable, put it back online, and put the feature back. Well, they got the servers more stable. They never put this back. I'm not sure why, because I thought the reason that they took this off because the server was unstable. Now that it's stable, I don't know why it's not back. So this is confusing to me, but I'm not a tech. I don't know why all this, how this works in the back end. So maybe there's more issues in the back end with all this stuff, but just for someone looking at the front end, it doesn't make sense why it's got removed.
So the Iron Patriot issue didn't address the showcase event. They said they were going to fix the red dot, red dot's not that big of a deal, really. But it's just that it didn't get fixed. It's
more
annoying.
Than anything. It's not a game-breaking thing. It's just annoyance.
Open all orbs, like
that's annoying.
They're going to fix that, and if they're not, then quit sending us all these orbs, or I don't know, right?
Keep sending us the orbs. Yeah, it'll be fixed eventually. I want the orbs. Eventually, we'll open
keep sending us the orbs.
Yes, keep sending us the orbs.
And then then we still don't have our payout from Crucible, and we don't even know if Crucible is going to be running next week, right? Because I understand that they didn't work on Monday, right? Because of Easter and all that stuff here in the States, and I guess everywhere, right? But then Tuesday they've been in the office, Wednesday's in the office, now it's Thursday, and still don't know what's going on. But let's talk about some stuff that I personally liked, and I want to get your take on it. I thought this was a lot of fun. It wasn't really an April Fool's joke, but this was fun, right? And this will be the day that we had the big heads, and then we had the little leader head. This was great. I loved this. What was how did you feel about it? Do you think it was?
You know what I want this permanent. I want that. I want to be able to toggle this on and off. Like most of the time I'm going to play with this off, but there's sometimes like, I want this back. I want to play with this fun mode. Give us this permanent. You know what I would have liked for this feature to be? Not an April Fool's joke. Add this as the 6th anniversary. So now we have this other mode that is now an option to be permanent or not. I like this. This was fun. And the little details, like the leaders, the biggest head in the game is the smallest head in the game. Yeah, this was awesome. This is the best April Fool's they've ever done.
The little head right there. Yeah, this was fun. And I know that there was a small number. In general, everybody liked this. Everybody that I talked to liked, and you didn't have to use it if you didn't like it. And it was just for 2 days, and maybe we would get tired of it. Some people wanted it permanently, but I don't think this took a lot of time for them to do it. I mean, obviously there were some bugs in it, like OG Doctor Strange. His fingers are popping out of his face, and then you got Colleen with a knife through her head, and just
Juggernaut's face.
Yeah, Juggernaut's face was weird, and then you got Venom's tongue coming out of the back of his neck. So it wasn't very polished, but it was fun, right? And
it was fine. It was for what it was awesome.
And so we do have all these unresolved issues, but I'm sure this was done weeks ago, and I don't think they spent a lot of time on this. So I think this was a big W for the community. Now, there was some controversy about the rewards. What did you think about the rewards? Because it came, basically the first batch.
Yeah, 6th anniversary.
Yeah, for the first batch came in and it crashed the game, right? Because of everybody opening. And then they sent the second batch, and then they gave us some extra T4s and 2 mega gold orbs. But overall, first of all, what did you think about the first batch, and if that was going to be it? And then
you're talking the first batch of big gift.
Yeah, because they kept saying big gift. They said juicy, like this is going to make a dent in your roster. No, right? So what was your take on it? Yeah,
not at all. I was like, it's slightly better than last year, but if you look at it from year to year, they get exponentially better, not slightly better. So I was like, this is not good. Now, if they just gave all that stuff, not hyped it up, there's like, all right, we did all these chapters, you gave all this stuff in these chapters, we gave all these milestones, you got all this stuff. Here's like a little dessert for you at the end. Put it in, fine. But in the beginning, they said at the end of all this stuff, there's this big gift. You're going to make this dent in your roster. So when the gift came, like, what is this? This is not making a dent. This is just a little better than last year. But if you look at it in totality, the 6th anniversary, what they've got from all those chapters, all those milestones, the first big gift, the second big gift, I think this is a very generous 6th anniversary.
Right.
And one of the problems that we've talked about before, one of the things that we were worried about is this looks so complicated when it was described to us. We didn't have all the information. Like, man, why is this so complicated? This ended up being fine. This was a great 6th anniversary when you look at it in what they've done total.
Yeah, I think it was a big success. I'm a big fan of it. Now, we're going to go to the heart of the video today, and we're going to end on this right here. Is Spider Society skippable? Is Peter B. Parker skippable or shelvable? And we talked about this a little bit on your channel, and we had 2 very different takes. What are you going to do with Peter B. Parker?
Right. I don't think the answer is the same for everybody. I think the answer depends on what your alliance is doing in the raids, where you want to accomplish. Because there's a lot of alliances right now are happy with 60%. And if your alliance is there, you don't need this team at all, at least not for the Incursion 2.3 raids. Maybe for Incursion 3 down the road, yeah. As far as their role outside of Dark, outside the raids and Crucible and War, I don't think they're needed there anywhere. Might they find a use there? Yes. But are they needed there? I don't think so. And the other issue is their farmability. They've switched the cadence of their farmability, right? So we're getting these shards, not as much in the front end. We're getting a lot more shards towards it. So and characters are becoming farmable a lot sooner. That wasn't the case in the past with some of these teams. So my thing is, I'm wondering if by the time that we need this team for Incursion 3 or something like that, will they be farmable and we have this team fully built up before they're needed, rather than being a luxury team right now, getting to the 100% of the raids, which some alliances might not do. So I think for some alliances, yes, you wouldn't need this team, build them right now. Other alliances, you could shelve them. You won't need them. And maybe, we might not know this answer because we don't know when they're going to be farmable, when we're going to need this team. They might not be needed at this point, but I don't know if we're going to know that answer.
Okay, so I only have 2 thoughts about this, and The first thought is I'm always reluctant to say skip or shelve a character because we really don't know how it's going to play out, right? We just don't know. The fact is that there's going to be a new raid that's coming, right? And we don't know what their role is going to be in that new raid. It could be the very first block. And invaders
they're gotta be the first block. They're gotta be the first.
Yeah, and like your alliance can't get through that first block unless they have Spider Society. I mean, it could be a thing. And the second thing is that maybe one cares about Crucible, and there's that Room 2 raid bonuses. Maybe they're going to be important there. So I don't know, but in general, like I feel like you kind of got to go with the flow with your alliance, and if your alliance is not like saying, yeah, I think it'd be a good idea for you to unlock these because we want to push for this, then maybe this is a team that you could take your time. Now, for me, I'm just going to say what I'm going to do. The team is going to come out in pieces, right? We're going to get Peter Parker today. I don't see the rush to upgrade him today, right? Because I'm not going to be able to use the team until at least have 4 members, right? You know, we got Spider-Gwen and Noir in game. Then we're going to get Parker. Then we're going to get somebody else. Maybe a 4-piece we'll use in raids. But we're probably not going to get full use out of the team until all 5. So I could take my time upgrading them. I don't think Penny Parker and Petey Parker are going to be useful outside of raids. They are slow. They're so slow. 108 and Penny's 106. Pav maybe will be used on a Hero Spider team. I don't know, but he's 128. But this team is just kind of a strange place. And I don't know what to tell people. Like, I don't know.
I don't know. Dual tags, does that make a difference does that help anything out having dual tags?
I don't know, but this team doesn't look that attractive for some alliances, that's for sure. And so definitely check in with your alliance and see what your alliance mates are doing, because I think everybody's in a different place in the game, but a lot of people are looking to skip teams, and I'm not sure where this one lies. And maybe you can, maybe you can't. We'll see, right?
Yeah, we'll see.
All right. Anything you want to say before we go?
Build up Skrull, build up build up Apocalypse, and build up Black Knight. That's it.
Yeah, there you go. Right.
Say before I go.
All right. See you soon. Bye for now.
Blitz